Hello, it's Alex. As you may tell from my face and my arms, I've been rather busy today. But I didn't bring you out with me, and one of the reasons being is I don't like to give you the wrong information. So whenever I give you guys any sort of information on what I've been doing, I like to make sure it's right, because I don't want you guys going and doing it wrong, and then it will come back on me. So this job I'm doing today, well, the first job I've done, and the reason I look like this, I just thought it was a bit boring, so I didn't film it. The second part of this job I haven't filmed because I don't really know what I'm doing. I've just got some advice from a few people on the Rover P4 Guild Facebook page. I've been looking in the workshop manual, and I've been looking at the car a bit baffled as to how I do this and how I do it safely. So excuse the lighting, but I've been in here wire brushing and grinding off all the rust I could find, ready to paint. I'm going to stone chip all this and protect it all. You know, I'll treat the rust. There's a bit of rust come up here in the seam. Try and treat all that. The big bit of the chassis here, that was all heavily suffering with corrosion. I've wire brushed as much as I can off, and then I shall put some rust treatment on that. But the bit I'm doing now, oh yeah, the smiley face. My friend Chloe said there's a smiley face under my P4. The bit I'm doing now is I really want to do my bushes. By the looks of it, the spring's got to come out, and I haven't done it yet because I'm really scared. And I'm just going to wait for Lyndon to come back. But yeah, I've disconnected the prop shaft from underneath. I've disconnected the anti-roll bar, I don't know what you call that, stabilizing bar I suppose. I've disconnected that. I've loosened all of these little nuts and bolts here. I've loosened the big nuts for this suspension arm, both ends. These are loosened, these are loosened. These are loosened as well. Everything came loose, which is a godsend. So I've now got 3 axle stands prepared. And the next part of this stage will be removing these and letting the jack down. Now in the workshop manual, for some reason it says to chain the car to the jack. And from what I've seen on the Facebook page is that, say my car didn't have its engine in, when you release the spring, the car would ping up or something. So by chaining it to the jack, you're keeping the car down. I don't know, but apparently with my big 6-cylinder engine still in there, she'll be fine without a chain. Oh, and the other job I did while I was in here was I have added some little springs and washers to my brake pad pins, so they don't rattle at all anymore, but I still have a little bit of a rattly pad there, so she might still rattle. If she still rattles now, then I'm going to have to see about some kind of shim in here to stop her shaking that around. But one thing I will say, I'm very happy about all this. There are no holes. I've not wire brushed any holes. The only bit that's a bit iffy is over here. There's a hole, but it's just a hole in this bracket. It's not any further, so I've wire brushed it out, and then I'll just put a bit of sealant over that or something. It's not going to do any harm. Oh, and this is going to be a hole, but I'm not doing that today. I'm just going to leave that. That'll all have to be cut out. It's just rotten, absolutely bodged and horrid. Be ideal really if I can get a repair panel with the shape of the arch, but I don't seem to be about. I am really sweating. Not because it's hot, but because I'm panicking. I can just feel the fear in me. I don't know why I'm so scared. I've removed 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 of the 10 nuts and bolts that hold the spring carrier in. I'm about to remove the last one. And then we are solely relying on the jack holding the spring into the carrier. I am scared. I am. Whew. Okay, get your limbs away from the car. I shouldn't be so scared, but I really am. Doesn't help. This is a stiff nut and bolt here. So I've got the 3 axle stands lined up ready. We've got my jack here. Everything's loose on the suspension side of things. Now I've got this information from the workshop manual and from my friend Adam Birch. He said he's done his before. Oh god, this one's not coming out. He's done his before like this. I'm just going to leave that there, you know, because when I let the jack down that should come off that thread. Alright, we're going to do it. We're going to do it. I am scared. Right. Thankfully I'm well away from the spring here. Alright. I'm slowly going to let this jack down. Oof. Oh god, I'm scared. Come on, spring. Oh my god. Oh my god. Ah! Why am I so scared? Come on, spring, come on. Be nice. Oh, it's happening. The car is now on its axle stands. And I think it's giving birth to this spring. Oh my god. This is terrifying. I don't know how it's going to go back up there. Is that it? Is that released? I'm worried. Do I go more? Oh god. I don't want it to suddenly go ping. Ooh. Oh my god. This is terrifying. Oh. Oh, Jessie, what are we doing? Oh, there we are. OMG. We did it. Whew. Lyndon just came and helped me because I couldn't figure out how this top arm came off here. Because I managed to get one nut off, but I couldn't get the other nut off because the whole thing was spinning. Same both ends. I didn't realise that you have to take the bump stop off and then the arm comes apart, and it's got these running through the middle of the bushes. So once you get one side off, you can grip them with mole grips and undo the other side. Yeah, I didn't know that. I can't believe how big and heavy these springs are. Madness. Huge. Huge, I tell you. Good job I took the spring out, because this bump stop that sits inside the spring has got very bad corrosion. It's all split, so eventually that would have cracked all the way around, and my little bump stop would have fell off and rattled in the spring or got caught up in the spring. So yes, I'm looking for a new one of these. It's very bad. Now, as I showed you before, this suspension cone with the rubber tit on the end of it was rotten on mine. So I bought this new one from John Waring's, but I didn't want to fit it because, if you can notice, this bit's a lot thinner than this bit on my old one. So by rights that would change the ride height, because it's going to be set in the spring, you know, at a different height, because I think the spring sits in there. So I was a bit wary about using one, because she might be a bit lopsided. I think if you were replacing both of them you'd be okay, but because I was only replacing the one side, I was worried it was going to change the ride height. So Lyndon took this one and he cut this rotten piece out. It's disgusting, look. It's full of filler. I mean, who would put filler in a suspension part? It's terrible. There's no way this rubber bung is going to come off. Look at the nuts. They're not recognisable as nuts anymore. So Lyndon just cut that off and he made a new part on there. It's not the prettiest, but it doesn't matter because it's not really going to be seen. The important thing is it's nice and strong, it's not full of filler, and it's going to be at the right ride height. So I've got a new old stock rubber tit, so we're going to drill the holes, fit that on, paint it before we do that obviously, and yeah, it's good to go. Big thank you to John Waring's for giving me some really cool old Land Rover magazines or newspapers for me to read. What else did I get from Waring's? Oh, I got loads of new nuts and bolts. I don't know where they are. I think they're in the garage. Thankfully my lower arm pins are in good condition, so they can be cleaned up. And here's all the new nuts that I got from Waring's, all the different sized ones, and a new anti-roll bar torsion rod, or whatever you call it. Here's the bushes we've been taking out, and some of them are just awful. Look at that. It's not in good condition, that one. These aren't actually that bad. These were on the top arm. These were mainly just sort of cosmetic on the top hat part. They're not that bad.